Ramona. Welcome back to our Ramona View. A lot has been going on this last month since we last saw you, and we'll be talking about it all. But right now we have a wonderful guest from a local website called The Patch. If you're not familiar with The Patch, you have to go check it out online. And we have the editor, Julie Pendray, from the Ramona Patch. Did I pronounce that right, Julie Pendray?
Yes, very good.
Okay. Well, tell us, we've got tons of questions for you, Julie, but first tell the viewers, if they haven't been to the Patch, what they're going to find.
Well, Ramona Patch is an online news operation. It theoretically operates sort of on a 24/7 kind of basis, like Sign On San Diego would. I sometimes describe it as a little miniature Sign On San Diego, but just covering Ramona in the back. I'm the only staff person here in Ramona.
Oh, you're the only staff person in Ramona?
Yes, I got a giggle out of, I think it was your email saying, we'd like to know, how many people are in the Ramona office. The Ramona office is
right on top of everything. I don't know how you have the time for that.
Well, it's my
the
life.
Patch is on top of all the news items coming out, like right there.
Yeah. Well, I should say that Patch.com, which is actually a Patch Media Corporation, is a subsidiary of AOL, America Online, which of course is a multinational.
That's why I thought you had all these people in your employ, keeping everything running.
We have about 850 of these Patch.com sites in small communities around the country.
Yeah.
And we have
it's a great idea.
We have 13, and it's just been a really wonderful adventure.
Good. Oh, well, we're thrilled to have you. I love the website. It's my home page, because that way I know what's happening here in my own town right away.
And I think in this area, especially as you go further into the back country, people feel quite starved in a way for immediate news. Especially during a disaster, a fire, or something like that. They don't know where to get information.
Have you heard about the new radio station starting up here, the RMC Radio?
I have.
Yeah,
I don't know a lot about it.
It's just local streaming on the internet right now. You go to RamonaMusicCenter.com and it's RMC Radio. But so that'll be another resource along with the Patch. But and eventually it'll be on FM. But right now it's just streamed on internet. I mention it because my daughter's song will be playing on that on that radio station, so we should all tune in all the time. But so the Patch is definitely keeping Ramona updated.
Your info on the website, and you've done a lot of different things. It's amazing.
Oh, my biography.
Your biography, starting with your. You got your start in Auckland, New Zealand, winning a contest or something.
Yes, that was funny. I had. Parked my motorcycle outside my best friend's home, and her dad knocked on the window and said, "Julie, your motorcycle's stolen." And he was always a real teaser, a kidder, So we're like, "Oh, you're right." We carried on doing whatever we were doing. And he goes, "No, really, your motorcycle's been stolen." And I was in college, and I didn't have a lot of money, and I was so bummed. And I used to listen to the radio. I loved the radio. And one day they were advertising for this female DJ. I just signed up for that, and I said, "I'll file records or something." They said, "No, you won't. You'll be our first female DJ." And I was so shy. And they used to have turntables back then, and I would I'd be doing this sort of thing. And they nicknamed me Captain Coordination. I was afraid to even speak on the air. Anyway, up came this competition, and I secretly applied, and I won. And I won $100, which back then was a big deal.
Right.
But I also won the graveyard shift, Saturday nights.
How would you find the graveyard shift? I'm a night owl.
Yes, well, I sort of am too, and quite often I work on Patch at sort of midnight, I should say too that although I'm the only staff person here, we have freelancers, one of whom is Ruth Lepper, who's well known here in Ramona, and she's been writing about Ramona for decades. She's lived here for decades.
Yes, I've seen her
so she's been very, very helpful. I could not have done this without her. Karen Carlson, who's very popular, she does the mains and tails. Rossi, who is from Downhill.
The wonderful thing that about the website is you can add your own videos, you can add your own photos, you can add your own events. You just type them in and from your own computer, and it shows up on the website. And you can blog on the website. You can ask questions on the website, and professionals that know the answers can answer the questions. So is there anybody editing anything for any program? You do it all.
I moderate it, but there are people watching this site. It is really a social engagement interactive site. So from time to time I might get a text message on my phone from Karen Carlson saying, Julie, you might want to look at one of those comments that's on your site, and I think, okay, I'll delete it. But we try to let the public say what they want to say within reason. You know, we had a story up on the site about someone who'd been murdered, and the autopsy showed he had a lot of drugs in his system. And I ran that story because I wanted to show the bigger picture. It was nothing about judging him, but I wanted to show the bigger picture of possibly what could have been involved, you know, in the murder. And we had a lot of comments from people, some of whom were very judgmental, very cruel, we felt, toward the family and the young man who was murdered, and we chose to moderate out some of those comments.
I saw on your website also that you dabbled in politics a little bit, and I was interested in the campaign that you ran. I wonder how you liked the campaign and doing.
I was working in television, and I was wondering about, you know, do I want to stay in television or not, and so forth. And here was a friend running for office, and I thought, well, this would be a really good experience for me. And I do think it's really good for people in journalism to get out and actually work in real life. You know, I've done that. It was a lot of fun. It was, again, like this job, sort of full on. The candidate really carried the campaign. He was, you know, a genuine person with a lot of community support. So he won and was elected county supervisor. And I worked for him briefly, but I didn't want to work in county government. It's not really my
One of the things that drew my attention, my husband ran, also nonpartisan. Going through that campaign, I can't believe what I learned about how horrible. I mean, it was just a terrible experience. I mean, part of it was great. He won, so that was good. But you find out how much lying there really is involved. I mean, some of the ballot statements were lies.
Horrifying.
It's hard. It puts a real burden on the people to find the truth. Because you're not going to find out in the mailers that come to your house. You can put anything on those mailers. You purchase them. And you're not going to find it, you know, necessarily in the media. I mean, it really
you're not going to find it
research.
from the opponent because they're lying too.
Right,
Everybody's lying.
Exactly.
I mean, we elect these leaders, and you know, we teach our kids not to lie, but we follow these people that are constantly telling us untruths and behaving very badly, in my opinion, very badly.
It's tough to find the truth. You really have to chisel away.
You do. You have to look for it yourself.
Yeah,
and the internet now is a great tool for that.
It is. It takes a lot
It takes a lot
of time and attention to sort of ferret out the truth in these political campaigns.
Right.
And there's so many to research. So many.
It actually kind of leads into my question, because, you know, we have our belief systems, or if we're working on a campaign, obviously, most likely we support that candidate. And so how hard is it to keep the journalism neutral? Because I was thinking, even for myself, even if I was thinking what I was writing was neutral, potentially, it couldn't be. Because I could see if I have 5 quotes, and then the 2 I pick are the ones that obviously I'm going to agree with, I think that would be like something that I would constantly have to be rolling over.
Be battling it all the time, I imagine.
That's an excellent question. Thank you for that. I taught journalism at Palomar College for 1 semester, and that's something that we went over that really, if we're really honestly truthful, we all have our own biases no matter what kind of profession we're in. I had a story that's a perfect example here recently. I don't know if you read it or not, but it was the one about the attorney who is taking the case of Obama's eligibility to court, and it's in the federal appellate court. And so I had to go in there, you know, completely neutral. So I just said to myself, I'm going in there, you know, completely neutral about this. And I think that I was able, well, the proof is in the pudding, right? So the Conservatives read the story and loved it and thought that I wrote it for them, and the Liberals read the story and loved it and thought that I wrote it for them.
Wow.
So we're in this business that if everybody loves you or everybody hates you on a story, then you've done your job. Yeah. And I honestly do believe that, you know, we're all individuals. We carry, you know, develop our beliefs or whatever based on our family upbringing, our experiences in life, our culture, you know, our immediate culture and our wider culture of the country that we live in. And so, you know, we need to not judge each other too harshly, because I could run into somebody who has a completely opposite opinion to me, but I respect the fact that that's the opinion they've developed, and I don't know why or whatever. So I feel that I do need to be fair, you know, and I really strive to. I'm a professional, I take this work seriously, I care about it, and I do want to be accessible and, you know, available and listening, you know, to all sides. That was a very controversial story that got a lot of...
Those are great rules to live by for everybody.
I won't be, I won't be, what's the word, controlled if I can help it. I want to say that if I feel that a story is important, I'll be running it, you know, regardless whether other people feel that it's not something
Good
that
for you.
is right or good or...
That's what we want in our journalists.
Because I think it's stimulating
Yeah.
for people. You know, that's why this show is stimulating for people.
Right.
Because they have different opinions.
Isn't she delightful?
Well, we had a case with the parade, the Ramona parade. So I went out and I shot still images because they're faster to get up on the site than video. I didn't want to be editing video because I had to go to the rodeo that night. And so I quickly uploaded them all, and I thought, now I wonder if the public will upload images, you know. So I was at the rodeo late at night and I was uploading some more images, and I saw a video there and I thought, oh, what's this? I don't remember loading that. Oh well, you know, whatever. And I clicked on it and it was Dave Patterson with his, he had, you know, some float, and of course, you know, he's a self-described, you know, progressive
Progressive, very liberal.
The Peace Party.
And I,
crew,
you know,
right?
and
Peace
Dave will
Party,
laugh if he sees this. He'll understand that my immediate reaction was like, you know, what have you done? You know,
Well, because it seems, you know, one-sided
Right.
as for a journalist to put up. But what people don't realize is that anybody could put those videos.
And I've got him on the site as a blogger, you know, partly for that it engenders conversation, and you know, he has a right to his views, and the Conservatives have a right, and we want to hear their views. And so I couldn't hear it because the rodeo was so loud, and I thought, I'm going to get crucified, and I'm going to get crucified for this, whatever it is, because it was a pig, and it had, you know, Medicare and, you know, the war and the CIA and everything written all over it, and I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, people are going to think I put this up, and it was already midnight, and, you know, whatever. And then in the next morning, of course, there was somebody who commented on the site that I should have had, you know, video. If I'd done any video, it should have been, you know, one of the beauty queens or whatever.
But they didn't, obviously they didn't realize that
I hadn't put
that
it
it's
up.
a viewer video.
Right.
So I just clarified that and said that I would look at it, that I hadn't had a chance to, and in the end I just said, you know, this was a float in a public parade, and he's explaining what it's about, and it stays.
Yeah.
So that's an example.
We're going to go ahead and talk about less serious things and start some dish here for the Ramona View.
Oh, can I stay for the dish?
Please stay for the dish. Julie may have to get up and run off in the middle, but because she's, you know, busy woman with that website. So, but I want to start off with Oprah, because I love Oprah, and it's her last show. It was her last show this last week, and they had a spectacular party. And so I just want to talk about some of the highlights. Did anybody see it?
No, I didn't.
Nobody saw
some of it.
You saw some of it. Okay, well, let me just tell my favorite of the highlights of the Oprah party, like the farewell party, was Jamie Foxx saying, "Isn't she lovely?" And he sang it so soft and tender, and so it was such a moment. It was really a moment. And then Stevie Wonder joined in, but he said about Oprah that she's made from pure love, and that's something I really do believe about Oprah. She is non-judgmental and very open to every walk of life and everybody's experiences, and just a wonderful personality and leader in our world, I think. So anyway, I just wanted to say goodbye to Oprah and acknowledge what a wonderful 25 years it was for her. She also had a last show, and she said something that we all have to listen to in her last show. She just kind of talked about her experiences in her last show. There was no hoopla, no big, but she said, we each have our own platform in our own lives, and she means not necessarily on video or on television. She just means the way we live our lives is our own platform, and that we should all embrace life, the life that is calling you, and serve the world. And the way you serve the world is just by being the best person that you can be and walking in the world with your best foot forward. And so I really appreciate those words from Oprah, and I wanted to share them with everybody. And it's something that I say to my daughter. Don't worry about whether you're important in the world. See, she's 11, and I've already seen that she's developed into a person that is contributing positive energy, light, and a great open frame of mind, great kindness in her heart. And so she has contributed to this world the best anybody could, really. You just have to be your best.
Right.
That's so true. That's what I took from Oprah's last show.
Okay.
So nobody else saw it, so nobody has
but
a
you know what though? I mean, when I think of Oprah, because there's so many things in my life that I've been able to pull from that show, whether it was an awesome book or philosophy or the concept of the gratitude journal. I mean, all of those things that have made a huge impact, and it was from that platform, you know. So I'm super bummed to see her go. And
well, she does. She puts a lot of that stuff in her magazine, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Is that
she does.
Still
She
going?
does.
Yeah, and she's got her own network now called OWN, and you can find it. And I'm sure she'll continue to put all that positive information, energy out into the world, which is we need it badly with all the corruption and nonsense going on.
I like what she says about the calling and serving.
Yes.
And Walter Cronkite said journalism is a calling. Yes. And that's what I taught my students. How many of you see it as a calling? And of course they looked at me like, you're nuts. Calling? No, journalists can find jobs right now and that sort of thing. But I think there is a sense of a calling, and you can, in life...
That's what journalism should be to me. It is a calling. It's a
Yeah.
calling
Passion
to show the truth.
That's what I was going to say.
Some of us would say that we wouldn't do it unless it's a calling, because, we could go off and do, higher paid types of work, but
less hours.
It's so much work.
Journalism, passion, too. And we have choices in life. And a friend of mine once said, "Look at the one that would be your highest calling." When I was trying to decide, which road to take. A little while ago. Journalism is very intellectually stimulating. It's very stimulating, and it affords opportunities to get out and look at life and meet people and go places.
So obviously have a very curious nature.
I'm very
and
I'm
love
very
people
curious.
and love life.
And I say to people, I'm getting curiouser and curiouser.
Yeah. Then there was American Idol finale. I was not happy with the end results, but not that he wasn't wonderful. I mean, Scotty's wonderful. But my favorite parts of the finale show were Steven Tyler. I love Steven Tyler. And Bono was on there with some production from Well, anyway, it was a fantastic show. Fantastic. I mean, if you like music and performances, fantastic. There was J-Lo singing. She wasn't singing. She was performing with her husband, Mark Antony. Girls, you have got to YouTube that, because that woman is amazing. The way she can shake.
Yes.
The way she can shake.
She's an awesome dancer.
It's something you'll never forget. I am going to watch that over and over. I'm going to learn to shake like that, and I'm going to make my husband watch. He may not like it, but he's going to watch.
Dancing with the Stars. Did you guys see that one?
I did.
saw the last
I
one.
saw bits of it. I didn't. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. So tell us about it.
Well, you know what? I loved it. I do have to say about the show, the show they had right before they nominated Hines Ward. Black Eyed Peas. I'm not crazy about their music lately.
Well, they're getting very robotic.
Oh my gosh,
They're getting
she
very
didn't,
robotic.
I know.
Right,
I was
talked
like,
about that. Yeah.
I don't like that. I mean, he was awesome. I was really shocked that he won, because I'm trying to remember who was the other girl.
He did great, but I wanted Chelsea. The young girl from Disney.
She was she was
she
awesome.
Can dance and
I cannot believe she got third place.
Yeah, I thought it was her for me, but Hines is a footballer, right?
But he's a guy to dance that
sports
good.
guys. I don't know how they keep winning. It's because they have such a following.
And he's
they
not
have,
a dancer either.
And
he
has
they got
loyal
the moves.
fans. Loyal fans.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But did anybody see Beyonce's new song Who'll run the world? Girls. Who'll run the world? Girls. Well, I don't know if you remember my last show. I announced that.
You
that
did.
the women need to run the world,
Yeah,
and great minds think alike. Me and Beyonce.
You heard it here first.
Me and Beyonce
That
are on
makes
the
me
same
think of,
page.
That makes me think of a banner in the parade. Did you all see it? It said, "Every woman deserves a tiara and a whip."
Very good. Very
that.
good.
I've got
Excellent,
one.
yes.
How about you?
Yes.
I don't have either.
Tiara.
I
I don't know about the whip. I'll find one.
Yeah, I got them. I got them both
That's
parties
good.
here too. A lot of good parties.
A lot of
We
good
had
parties.
the Cowgirl Fashion Show, which is on my website.
Oh, I thought you meant right here in this house,
whatsupramona.com.
which we love too.
You saw the
I
show. It's
videoed
on
the
your
fashion show.
website
It's on
too.
RamonaPatch.com, and I was really pleasantly surprised. I expected the fashion show to be more like the beauty pageant, the rodeo queen pageant,
Right.
more sort of traditional and so forth.
Uh-uh.
And then I heard the opening lines and saw, I sort of walked around the corner in time to see this man in a bright red shirt leaping off the stage.
Right.
And I thought, I think this is going to be a little different. And then I just,
hot.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really well choreographed.
Incredible. Kenrick's, the sushi restaurant at the end of town, if you're going out towards Poway, it's their second annual fashion show, and they do an amazing job. The star of the show pretty much is Harley, their daughter, and she does an amazing job in the choreographies and the outfits.
Wow.
It's really amazing. Our friend Lisa's in it, and her daughter Natalie was in it too. So it's all hometown, but it's rock and roll and it's hot.
What I loved were the appreciative, is what I call them, the appreciative young cowboys at the end of the cab.
Oh, yeah.
And I got them on video too, because they're going, yeah!
They were
it really gave it a
fantastic,
really
weren't
fun
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
cute.
They made it very Ramona.
What I thought about was the confidence of the young girls. So I'll put that question out to you. Am I allowed to ask questions too?
Of course.
What do I do?
Did you have that kind of confidence when you were their age?
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not.
I
I'm sure
pretended,
you
but I didn't have it.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I didn't.
I did this thing called FIT. It was fashion and training. You got to go in and do all like the runway training, and they taught you about makeup, and it was awesome, and it was super fun. And at the rate was that they didn't just teach you about clothes; they taught you about your skin and why it's important to take care of yourself. And it was an awesome experience. And I did walk away with that with a lot of confidence. And I was probably 11. I don't even know if they still have it because that was
They do fashion shows.
Yeah, they do.
Once or
At
twice
Nordstrom,
a
'cause
year.
We have the girls.
Yeah, our
do
girls
it,
have been
but
in the fashion shows, but they don't have a whole
we kind of push
seminar.
them to do it.
Yeah.
Get up
Yeah.
there.
I know it.
Start that up again,
Yeah.
Nordy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We love you, Nordstrom.
Yeah. Did anybody go to the rodeo?
You did.
We are just losers.
I know. I was thinking
I
I'm so
know,
out
just
of
the
it
two
with
of us.
everything.
I was there on Sunday. I was there on Sunday for Kids Day because Hannah Cayenne, my daughter, was singing at the rodeo and she was so sick. So she was having trouble with it, but she did it twice. She did it to open Kids Day and she did it to open the regular rodeo.
Wow.
And it was we couldn't stay for the whole thing because she was so sick, but it was looked like a great production. And while I'm talking about my daughter, I just want everybody to know she released her new single called Play With You on iTunes and CD Baby, so you gotta look it up on iTunes.
I got it.
Under Hannah Cayenne, Play With You. Did you get it? Girl.
I got it. Like her on Facebook. She's got a Facebook page.
She's got a Facebook
Yeah.
page. You can like her on Facebook. Yeah.
And I'm sorry that I didn't get her on video on Ramona Patch or a photo, but I was
It's on. I put the video on.
Oh, did you?
Ramona Patch. I did it. Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's
Because
there.
I heard her start singing Flew In Again and Missed Her Again. So
Well, that's okay.
The-
I got
the
her.
thought was there.
I got her,
Well, see, now
and
this
it's
is
on
exactly
the article.
this is why it's good.
Yes,
have people
that's why I
contributing.
love Patch. It's so
Yeah.
wonderful. It's so
That's right.
interactive. You guys got to
You
check
have to
it
be
out.
everywhere then, right?
Yeah.
She's
can't-
everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was looking
I
at it. You
can't
have
do
to be
it.
everywhere.
I know.
And it's great that people let me know about things. There was by the time this airs, this will be old news, of course, but there was a fire off San Vicente Road last night, and I had 2 people get a hold of me on the site. In the comments, they're just driven by and there were flames and so forth. So that helps me out. I don't always hear everything on the scanner. I don't always have the scanner on. I don't always want the scanner on.
Right, yeah.
I need one of them scanners.
Yeah.
I have it on my
We
iPhone.
smelled it.
I know, I kept saying, you smell smoke?
We got to go find it because Natalie, Lisa's daughter, texted my daughter, 11-year-old, there's a fire.
Oh,
Sunny by that road. Yeah, so we went to go check it out, but they wouldn't
Well, I
let us.
saw it in the
They wouldn't let
news.
us pass
I know.
Wildcat.
Texting and Twitter and Facebook, these are really becoming the places to get
Exactly.
immediate
information.
news.
Right.
Immediate
Everything's
information.
going portable and to the air,
yeah.
you know, to the cloud.
Yeah,
Kind
exactly.
of thing. And so Twitter has become the new scanner.
What do you guys think about Arnold and his wife Maria?
I'm so,
I think so many
disappointed
things. You know,
in the Terminator.
I know.
do you know that his son calls him the Sperminator?
Yeah, I
And
saw.
has totally kind of disowned
Right.
Well,
So this other woman too, which was his someone he worked out with, and Gigi, and all these things are coming out now. All these things, which is
You know, I'm not going to say all men are dogs, but
This
many
one
of
is.
them are not evolved.
You know what? I
They're
have
not
to say
quite-
that my first feeling about this before, because we're all sinners and I can't necessarily judge them, although I will. But I think it's just so sad that, and it's inescapable that when you're famous, your dirty laundry has to be out there. I really don't think it's our business. It's his business and Maria's business. He screwed up. I think he could have handled it much differently. But it's miserable that it's just out there for the whole world,
And he's a
including
governor
us, to dish
too.
about.
Okay, he's supposed to be our leader here.
I know, and I don't know if that's.
Well, he's just weak. You know, that's how I see it. He's just a weak. He's a weak man that had to become
Right.
so physically strong because
Right.
his character is so
That could
big.
Well, he
a
likes
little
to
bit.
look big,
That's how I
he
look
said,
at it.
right? So
And
the
he likes
cameras.
to dominate, obviously. I think that his biggest mistake in this, in my humble opinion, why he waited. Had he just fessed up and said, I totally blew it, I knocked her up, the maid, and, you know,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been that 10 years of betrayal or 15 years of betrayal, which is so, that's just mean.
The kid is like one thing, and the infidelity, like you said, we're all sinners.
Right.
But to have that chick around your house for
Exactly.
20 years,
That to me is
knowing
creepy.
that she had your
Yeah.
husband's kid,
Yeah. Yeah.
For
you
me,
know?
I've got to just feel sorry for those people because they're the ones living in a lie. They're the ones
Right.
that have to live
Oh,
every
it's
day,
horrible.
wake up
and that
every
is
day in a lie.
poison, you know,
Yeah,
in
it can't be
itself.
good.
To
Yeah.
Horrible way to live. Horrible way to live.
Yeah.
Be your best person. Don't live in a lie. It's
Yeah.
a horrible way to
Yeah.
exist, I think.
Mark Twain said he doesn't lie because he's too lazy. So once you start lying,
I
you
think
know,
that's
it's
right.
like-
said that he's short. I always picture so tall.
yeah, me too.
Well, he is to you, Annette.
I'll stay out of the judging.
I know, I know.
Easy. I'm
Just-
very
just
tall.
put 5-inch heels on there.
I would be hired.
Like Arnold, I love Arnold. I love you. Like Commando, my favorite movie when I was a kid growing up.
I
But
did
I like
like
all
it
the
too, but I don't
Terminator movies.
I do too.
I've
I
seen
like all the
Pumping
movies.
Iron,
I love
Arnold.
all the movies.
We're still good.
Well, I think it's something. This is something to bring up, though. The difference between a person's public persona,
Right,
Right.
their
yeah.
personality,
Right.
Yeah.
and the reality of what they can do in a political office, or the reality.
Well, I always say, you have to separate. I know a lot of actors will start spewing politics, and half of them don't know what they're talking about, or musicians
I
will get up.
disagree. I disagree.
They're-
I think they know quite a bit.
Yeah, and I know.
Intuitively,
See,
even.
here we go. But I think if you disagree with them, like my husband will get caught up in, someone that he used to really like musically,
Right.
and say, I can't watch them anymore because they said, something political. I say, you totally have to separate it. I don't look at these people because I think they're brilliant politicians. I either like their music or like their acting, and I guess it's the same with Arnold. If you like his movies,
He's an
great,
entertainer,
then,
right?
yeah,
That's his
then
job,
be
he's an
entertained
entertainer.
by him.
Yeah.
It's going back to movies, right?
That's where,
Yeah.
that's where
See
he
that
should
too?
be.
Right,
That's where he
exactly.
belongs.
Exactly.
Obviously,
to
that's where he
movies.
belongs. It's kind of ironic how it came out, shortly after he left office.
Yeah.
All
Well,
of a sudden.
My understanding from that, and I don't know how accurate it is, but that while he was in office, there were agreements that were made, maybe with some of the media or people who were aware, because it was pretty open from what I've heard.
Oh, really?
It was pretty obvious to his staff and to people covering him and so forth. But that while he was in office, whether the agreements were, tacit or whatever, this was not, made public. Speaking of women, I thought of something that would be interesting to mention when I went to check out the fire, and of course this will air in June, but the fire on San Vicente, which will be May 25th, right?
Yes.
There were women firefighters there today. Most of the people down there were women, and they were from the Rainbow Correction Facility. Rainbow is a little community sort of east of 15, east of Fallbrook, and way at the end of a dirt road is a correctional facility, and those women are used to fight fires. So there were 2 big trucks full of them.
I heard about an interview that I think it was on Fox, and it was a family out of Canada that won't reveal the sex of their child, and we're not talking like they're pregnant and they won't reveal the sex. The baby is like maybe 6 or 8 months old, somewhere around there. And so they want their child to be raised gender neutral. So the baby, it has a neutral name, right? Like let's say, for example, we'll call this baby Pat. It's neutral.
Could be a boy or a girl.
Boy or girl. But they're saying that the nannies know the sex of the baby and the siblings know the sex of the baby, but they're doing this so gender expectations aren't placed on the child. So when I started looking into this, it looks like, overseas I could find a couple of articles where it could potentially be a trend in some other countries. I think the oldest child that I ran across in these articles was maybe 2 years old, that they were still able to, I'm going to say, keep this secret. So, at first, because for myself, I consider myself a very, very liberal girl, and very open, and I thought, do I dig this? Do I not? And at first I was like, I dig this. This is the way to go. But then the more I started to think about it, the feminist in me was like, wait a minute, I like being a woman. I'm proud of all that comes along with that. And so, I don't know, like, what do you guys think about that?
It would put a lot of pressure on the child. It seems like it would put a lot of pressure on the child to, like, keep its gender
right, its likes and dislikes have to be neutral.
It seems odd to me, but
it is who you are.
Yeah.
If the boy is a little with a little bit of feminine in him, you can't help that. That little boy is going to fight the boy in him.
Yeah.
But if it's a boy, it's a boy.
Yeah.
If it's a girl, it's a girl. Same thing with, vice versa.
Then you have your Metro Man, which we all love. I love the Metro Man, but
What's the Metro Man?
Oh, just a man that has a lot of
The ones that like lattes.
Yeah, the ones that like lattes.
Okay.
That like to help you go shopping, but they're not gay.
Hey, my husband likes lattes, but he doesn't like to shop.
Okay, he's not a Metro Man.
I think the Justin Bieber hairdo kind of goes with
that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, for myself, because with my child, I have a daughter who's 11, and a lot of the stereotypes, specifically for women that were out there, I was concerned about those, and my answer was, you may agree with it or not, but she's never had a Barbie. I didn't want that body type part of her play. Unfortunately, brats came on the scene, and so everyone started giving her those, but I tried to be very careful about, what stereotypes I was bringing into her environment, but I think I did a good job with that, but I also think it's important, for her to be her and her little woman self and everything that is.
Yeah.
So,
I hope that this gender-neutral families will allow the child to flower into whatever they are, whether it be very masculine or very feminine. Let us all just be.
Well, my other hope was that you're not doing this so it's some kind of social experiment, because you never know, right? That you're really doing it from like a good place and not just to see what happens.
Right.
Like an experiment or something.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, of course, there's bad parents, but and mean parents, but most
it's
parents
human.
make all their choices, whether we agree with them or not, from a good place.
You know what I'm thinking as we're talking about it is that it's like saying, let's all be one color, and you're not embracing your individualism and your.
Great point. Yeah.
I mean, if they're saying that they want him to be gender neutral because of the expectations the rest of the world has, well, that's never going to go away. You have to prove yourself as a woman, or prove yourself as a man, or a Hispanic, or a person, whatever. Yeah, I mean, you can't. And that just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. That's interesting.
I think it
Yeah,
confuses the
fascinating.
kid even
For
more.
thought, right?
Food
Yes,
for thought.
It is
definitely.
food for thought.
Well, Ramona, let us know what
Be
you think.
confusing.
Be sure and send us messages, emails, comments on whatsupramona.com. And we want to thank Julie Pendray for joining us here at
Yes, it was lovely to
the
meet
Ramona
you.
View.
Right.
Thank you, Julie. It was really a pleasure.
It was fun. Hey, I love doing this for work.
Yes, we'd love it if we got paid for it. Great. But anyway, Ramona, keep tuning in every first Sunday of every month to our Ramona View. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.